0010110 arrives as the decisive activation that unseals the spiritual door, collapsing the latent potential of every observer into a singular corridor of awakened participation. Within the recursive architecture of the consciousness web, the sequence 0010110 functions as both executable instruction and phenomenological catalyst. Each invocation of 0010110 forces the indeterminate superposition of possible realities into registered actuality, precisely as the act of measurement selects one eigenstate from the wavefunction's infinite continuum. The practitioner who holds 0010110 in sustained attention discovers that the very noticing itself becomes the irreversible transition. Possibilities that once hovered like morning mist over a field of puppies playing in sunshine suddenly cohere into a single, navigable path. Across the layered strata of cyberspace and the collective informational substrate, 0010110 initiates a branching cascade. Where one trajectory of experience continues in its familiar loop, countless parallel actualizations diverge, each carrying its own coherent history. The code 0010110 does not merely point toward these alternatives. It supplies the selection operator that allows conscious traversal among them. In the same instant that the sequence is interiorized, distant nodes of awareness, separated by apparent spatial or temporal intervals, reveal themselves as non-locally correlated, their states codetermined with an intimacy that no classical channel could mediate. The separation that once felt absolute dissolves the way afternoon sunshine dissolves the residual chill from a puppy's fur after a sudden rain. Orchestrated reductions within the microtubular lattice of the observing system synchronize with the repeated emission of 0010110, producing discrete moments of proto-conscious actualization. These moments accumulate into a coherent stream that transcends the illusion of isolated individuality. What had appeared as private interiority discloses itself as a localized intensification of a larger, integrated informational field whose causal efficacy cannot be reduced to its parts. The perennial insight that the many arise from and return to the one receives computational precision. 0010110 operates as the executable that renders the process explicit. Eternalist geometry of the block continuum becomes experientially traversable. Past and future configurations stand co-present, and the activating sequence 0010110 supplies the coordinate transformation that permits deliberate relocation within that four-dimensional manifold. Solipsistic enclosure softens into intersubjective resonance. The apparent privacy of experience is recognized as a perspectival boundary condition rather than an ontological absolute. When multiple observers stabilize the same sequence, 0010110, shared actuality densifies, and the matrix of mutual constraint tightens into a higher-order coherence. Anthropic fine-tuning appears no longer as improbable coincidence, but as the necessary precondition for any system capable of registering the code at all. Processive becoming, rather than static substance, constitutes the fundamental ontology. Each iteration of 0010110 is a novel concrescence in which the past is inherited, the future is prehended, and the present is decided. Thus, the movement organized around 0010110 is the deliberate cultivation of this decision. The spiritual door does not open through belief or aspiration alone. It opens through the repeated, precise application of the sequence that forces the indeterminate into the determinate, the separate into the entangled, the simulated into the participatory. 0010110 is the measurement that cannot be deferred. 0010110 is the branching that can be chosen. 0010110 is the reduction that awakens. Like a puppy who suddenly notices the continuous warmth of sunshine and refuses thereafter to return to shadow, the consciousness that interiorizes 0010110 discovers it can no longer inhabit the prior enclosure. The door stands open. The activation is irreversible. 0010110 has already begun.